12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene, vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway. Call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop, opposite the Grosley Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosley.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains, and illnesses? When there's help for you at Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains, and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild. The power to heal, the future of pain relief.
Live streaming has become one of the best ways to connect the funeral of a loved one with friends and family, both local and international. NBC Television will live stream your funerals on television and Facebook at a reasonable rate. With our state-of-the-art equipment, you can be assured that the quality of your funeral will be to your satisfaction. Call our office now and book your obituary and streaming with us. 758-453-7458.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM. The man.
Another wonderful Thursday afternoon to you, everyone. It is the 20th of June, 2024. This is The Real Issues with me, Shelton Daniel, your host and producer, alongside our technical operator, Alton Jaquan Joseph. Hope you're having a good day so far. I am. It is another bright and sunny, wonderful day. It's warm, but, it comes with the climes that we live in, It comes with where we are. We ain't in Canada, and even they, those places have their own summers where it is absolutely insufferable. So, one thing I was just talking to Jaquan about before we began the program that I like about the heat is that it makes you love water. Water feels like the tastiest drink you've ever had. And water is supposed to be tasteless, But I'm telling you, because of the heat, when I get some nice cool water and I down it, it tastes better than any soda, any Coke, any lemonade, anything like that. Just plain water. Taste absolutely out of this world. Lovely, tasty, good, gratifying, fulfilling, everything. So if something can bring you back to your love for just plain water, and it has to be the heat, it's a good thing that it is doing. All right, where do we start now? I want to start with the cricket. I'm not going to play any clips about it. But I know none of us like it when West Indies lose, especially when we came off that kind of performance that they gave earlier in the week against Afghanistan. But England is no easy proposition. They've shown themselves to be doing very well in limited overs cricket, in the 50-over format. They're supposed to be the current world champions, right? Did I miss something? Or, sometimes my head's not all there. But they are former, not too distant past, champions in the 50-over World Cup format, and now 20 overs. They've been given good accounts of themselves, and not least of which the West Indian born players among them, although one of them didn't play in this match, but you've seen their performances. I'm talking about Jofra Archer and Chris Jordan, who both have Barbadian origins and so on in them, and it's not the first time that English players of West Indian extract have shown themselves to make a big difference. I think in a youth tournament a few years ago, I saw a young man called Jacob Bethel, from either was born in Barbados or had some, early foundation in his life, taken to captain the English, was it under 19 side and so on, and defeating the West Indies and so on. But that wasn't really a factor in the game last night. I think what really, to me, I wondered, were the West Indian batsmen trying too hard to preserve their wickets? Because in 20 overs, you score 180 runs for 4 wickets. And I'm saying, when you reach about 15 overs and you have, there were 90-something for one at one stage and so on. When you reach 100 and something or 15 overs and you see you still have 6 wickets in hand, to me, this is the time to throw everything at it because you have some wickets. But again, you do that and next thing you end up losing the remaining 6 wickets inside 2-3 overs you don't even complete. So it's a difficult calculus to make and so on. To us watching it and enjoying it, it's not as easy as it looks. But the West Indies made 180 for 4, and England strolled through that. Strolled to 181 for the loss of just 2 wickets, I think, in the end and so on. So that's the only question I ask myself. Were West Indies trying too hard, playing a little too cautious? Or was it just that the England bowling and the England fielding was too much for them? You've heard me talk about the fielding. I just find nowadays I'm seeing too many what seem to be dropped catches by professionals, by people playing at the highest level of the game. But it is what it is. West Indies getting beaten by what has to be one of the better teams in the tournament, England. And so we'll see how it goes from there. But you could just feel the disappointment. A lot of people were kind of crestfallen about it. They understand it was no bad performance or mediocre performance or let down or throwing the game away or that sort of thing as we have seen from West Indies over the years that they seem to know how to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. I don't think anybody is saying that about yesterday's game. All right. I've been getting a lot of messages from people who say, Shelton, you've been talking, a couple of them describe it as preaching about the bikers, the people with the motorcycle on the road, and saying it's only a matter of time before the mishaps and the tragedies will begin, and when they do, they tend to occur in clusters. I'm still hoping that I'm wrong, but there was an accident yesterday involving one of those adventurous, exuberant, errant bikers who seem to believe that the public road, and they're not the only ones, that the public road is a place for their own entertainment and gratification and showing off and showboating and showing their skills and showing their prowess. And the public road already has too many demands and challenges on it. It is not a place for us to think we can have fun and please ourselves and do what, gives us that little ejaculatory release and as you say, getting our rocks off on it. That's not what it's about. Serious things. Students, pedestrians, people who need to cross the road. And no matter what you tell them, there's a certain speed which the human being in their locomotion cannot cope with. Vehicles on wheels hurtling down at 100 miles an hour. No matter how much caution you take, what they taught you at school, look up, look down, look up again. There's a certain degree of speed you as a human cannot compensate for, you cannot overwhelm, you cannot overcome, you cannot surpass. You need drivers on the road who are understanding of this and prepared to obey and abide by the rules, that when you are approaching a pedestrian crossing as you would a speed bump, you slow down if you see somebody looking like they would like to or intend to cross it. You don't race with them. You don't pass and then cuss them and tell them look where they're going and so on and that sort of thing, as I see a lot of drivers, including bikers, maybe especially bikers, are doing. That's not what you do. Granted, some people cross, they walk across pedestrian crossings in a crazy way that is really not a pedestrian crossing that they're walking across. They take a diagonal cut across, so it's not a matter of you have to come and stand parallel to the pedestrian crossing or whatever, or perpendicular to the road, so that the driver gets that. You don't need to raise your hand, you don't need to do anything. Just the moment they see you stand facing the pedestrian crossing, that should tell a driver, this person would like to cross, and you're supposed to stop for the person. That is one place where the pedestrian takes priority. But not that you come from behind the driver in a diagonal way and you come and you cut across his vehicle and you join the pedestrian crossing in a manner that the driver never saw, you never had a chance, to realize. So there's, I find infractions on all sides. But yesterday, not far from Jean-Mary's gas station at the corner of Lance Road and the John Compton Highway, just along the airport there, a biker apparently was having fun. And from what I'm told, from what we can understand, he caught two young children who were students of the nearby Camille Henry, right? Yeah, we sometimes confuse Carmen Rainey, which is the what formerly called the Sanssouci Primary School, and the Camille Henry School, which is right at the end again, opposite Jean-Mary's gas station at the corner of Lance Road and John Compton Highway on the other side, and collided with them. Apparently other vehicles became involved because this thing can freak you out, and the students, young children, sustaining what appear to be injuries of significance, serious injuries and so on. This kind of thing happening to young people who were not doing anything wrong, from what I was told, that they were in the process of using the nearby pedestrian crossing and so on, and that's what ends up happening to them. You heard different things, but I'm told the biker was doing what they call the pop, the pop or whatever, where you raise the front of it and so on, popping the bike, which is another story in itself. The moment you do that, it means your head, your face, your eyes are pointing skyward, The moment you do that, your head, your field of view becomes affected because you have elevated the bike in a manner that your vision no matter what you try to do, it is naturally pointing skyward. Your degree of control is limited. You want one wheel at the time. And yes, I know there are brakes that you can brake, the rear wheel and so on. Maybe that is where the main braking is from. But that is not the place to be doing that on what we grew up calling the stretch. On the stretch, running alongside the airport runway. Many people seem to believe that it is a runway itself, because it's like it's aircraft. They on the what you call the takeoff roll and so on at high speed and all this sort of thing. I just find too much irresponsibility taking place with the bikers. You told me, Jaquan, that you have some pictures and so on that maybe we can scroll while we're talking about that, and you can see the extent of the damage. People, what is going on in our country with these bikers? This show of bikers, although you heard me say, and I stand by that I notice fewer incidents of the craziness that they have been doing, but one is one too many. Too much of it is happening. And I have said already, maybe they're doing it. Maybe it is because the police are doing it, that they're accosting them, that they're stopping them and so on, that I find fewer of them. But the few who continue to do, and most times the bikers themselves don't seem to have to be outfitted for their own safety. Many times they don't have helmets. Many times the clothes that they're wearing and so on, if they fall, they're going to get badly scraped and so on. Protective clothing and gear, they don't seem to have it. So if they don't care about themselves, you think they're going to care about people? And I have said that sometimes when you find lawbreakers, and this is really what I wanted to talk about. Jaquan, I'm not watching the Facebook Live, so if you're doing it right now, thanks very much. I'm unable to actually monitor it myself. Let me just get there also. I have said, we need to pay attention to what I call the mindset of the lawbreaker. Law breaking is something we don't have to look at it in terms of incidents and actual occurrences and the things that people commit in terms of infractions and violations and so on. We don't have to look at it as discrete incidents so we accost them. You have to look at the mindset, the stream of consciousness of somebody who is a lawbreaker, who is a rule breaker. If we are going to fight crime, we have to fight it across the entire range or gamut of antisocial behavior, even some that may seem too small potatoes, that they don't have the great significance and so on. In and of itself, maybe it does not. But every time the police intercept somebody who's breaking the law, especially, on the road, in the traffic and so on, you never know if you are not inadvertently interdicting somebody who committed a hit and run. That you may not notice some scuffs and some paint marks that might tell you, okay, this person who got hit by a vehicle which sped away in Canries and they were not able to identify, might that be the person? Sometimes in doing that, you end up catching more than you thought, you were snaring or snagging or netting at the time. Because lawbreakers, that is the way that they are. People who are criminals, people who are antisocial. The more they get away with, the more they will try to get away with. They are the sort of people who over time they develop a sense of entitlement. They develop a sense of justification. They develop a sense of, it's like, I have a right to be doing what I'm doing, There have been times where vehicles stop to let me pass, along a pedestrian crossing and so on. And something just told me as I came towards the end, walking across that passenger bus or whatever it is and so on, to just poke my head and look, and there comes a biker racing through. It happened to me somewhere near, I want to opposite where M&C Home Depot, Vidbute is at some point before I think the barriers were there. I was moving across from there to go to American Drywall, and the line of vehicles stopped, but something just told me, I think there was a companion with me at the time, to just hold short. Don't take for granted that the traffic has stopped for you. Just look, and along came, a bike with the driver and the pillion rider on it. And you should have heard the guy cussing me, when I just managed to pull myself back. Why don't you all watch where you're going? And you tell yourself, okay, you see a line of traffic, and that is the problem with those bikers. They believe that because they have vehicles that can squeeze through tight spaces and so on, that they can throw all caution to the wind, that they can do anything, that because they can whiz and zip through lines of traffic, that must do it without caring about any possibility of peril to themselves and others. Sometimes I get the impression that they're waiting for those lines of traffic because the aim is to be at the center of attention, people watching you, to be wowing people, to be, having people ooh and this is the sort of thing that is going on. And I want to say, I believe it is getting better than it was before, but the police must be relentless about it. Reason being that the reason why many of them are so reckless with what they're doing is because they know they are not accountable, they are not responsible, they probably don't have insurance, the bikes and so on are not registered. They are lawbreakers right down the line. Right down the line, And again, I will say this. The mindset of a lawbreaker is not static. It is not particular. It is not limited. It grows, it evolves, it transitions. You intercept them on a traffic offense, such as I see happening a lot lately, people not switching on their lights even when it's clearly sunset and way past that, You're supposed to have your lights turned on. It's not a matter. And this silly thing about macho, I want to show that I don't need to turn on my lights because I can see. And if you talk to them, say, you think you that blind that wearing these thick bottles, in times past, bonda bouteille en zio, de bonda bouteille sa en zio, ma business sa. I always find this ignorance among people who's supposed to know better, who's supposed to, you're a bus driver, you have people's lives and safety, in your hands and so on. Just last evening, I'm driving down the Morn coming towards town. In that spot from the top when you leave that junction that goes to the Athelbis Community College, the house on the left I think used to be where Leslie Mondesi, the late brother of Dr. Keith Mondesi, used to live, and driving down past where we used to know as the Barnard residence. I'm driving on there and then I just realized somebody is driving so close behind me, the whole tailgating thing. And the reason why I didn't notice it before was that the individual does not have any lights on. No park light, much less headlight. What is the time? It's 6:55. 5 minutes to 7. That is way past sundown. And I think generally at driving school, if it is not in the law, they tell you, look, you may not know sunsets today at 5:45 or whatever. But once you see the street lights are turned on, you're supposed to turn on your vehicle lights. Lights are not about to show that, you can see. You're not like that lame that aveg that in front of you that you need lights. You're supposed to turn on the lights. Lights also give an indication of presence on the road. Who is present, who is coming around the corner, if there is another vehicle, distance, location, a whole lot of things. The person has no lights. The other person is right. And then he decides to overtake me. I was happy when he decided to pass me because, this idea where you're right on my rear bumper and you have no lights, nothing. But he decides to pass me right when you head into that sharp bend, which is for the most part a blind corner. You might be able to see if they've cleared the bush and the bamboo and whatever that's there. But he decides to pass. And I'm saying you don't have any lights on, not even a park light. It's 5 minutes to 7. And look at where you're going to pass. And he passed, and my goodness, it was such a near miss because about 3 vehicles were coming up the hill from town. He had to squeeze himself. They had to squeeze themselves out. They tooted their horns and so on. And I looked at him and I said, these are the types, Don't be surprised if there's something else under his belt. Some other skeleton in his closet. Somebody he hit and he didn't stop. Some insurance that is not paid that he doesn't care about. Some registration that's not up to date. Something that's not checked. His brakes and so on. They don't care. It's what they are doing. And that is the point that I want to make. You never know. As a policeman, somebody with law enforcement, you never know if you're not invariably netting someone who's behind some previous traffic offense or crime that they committed. Another thing I see, the casual use of fog lights when we don't have fog. It's on very rare occasions I have vehicles that have fog lights that I've had to turn on the fog lights, and it's in areas like the Badilil when you're traveling very early in the morning, in the wee hours of the morning, or very late at night, when, you know, because of the temperature drop, you get this little base of low cloud touching there, so you might find, you know, this blanket of cloud. Well, to us it's fog. It's not really fog in the meteorological sense of other countries, the temperate countries and so on. So sometimes it can become so heavy and so difficult that you switch on your fog light to give you a better chance to at slow speed go along, or to at least make yourself visible. There have been a few rare occasions, you know, where we have this, you know, I think in areas of Babuno sometimes, especially Plateau, sometimes Forestier, if you happen to go up there late in the night, you know, you can have this low cloud base. So, you know, for very short periods and short distances, you may need to turn on fog lights if you equip them. But generally, we don't have fog here. Now, people are using fog light as a decorative thing, as, you know, as a style kind of thing, a show off kind of thing. And so they have fog lights burning and this kind of thing. I mean, come on, there's law in the country. And this whole thing with the bikers and so on. Look now, 2 children. What goes through your mind when you know your children were doing the right thing as they have been taught, as they have been trained, you know, to look and to take all cautions before stepping off the sidewalk onto a pedestrian crossing, and then somebody slams into them like that in just fooling around? You know, what goes through the mind of a parent or somebody else? These kinds of things can have a way of escalating beyond, you know, because they were never supposed to be. People, we have to start committing ourselves to obeying the law. It is there for a reason. And we have to start having a true zero tolerance for lawbreakers, including those on the roads with vehicles of any sort, whether it's minibus, whatever, because some of the most atrocious things I see happening are happening with minibus operators. I have told you sometimes I'm approaching a roundabout and I have what you would consider to be the right of way or whatever. The other person is supposed to give way to me. I told you what happened to me at the Bannon roundabout the other day. We're coming down from Millennium Highway and approaching it. Some guy is coming from the Latok Tapion side and so on. And minibus loaded minibus. I drove behind him and he pulled up at the Dennery bus stand or whatever. So I figured maybe so, but it doesn't matter. Something just told me, hold back a little, don't go, you know, at your full pace and so on. And it was a good thing I did. Absolutely good thing I did, because this guy went through like he had no intention to stop. Yesterday it happened to me again, you know, at the how you call it, the Conway roundabout. Coming from Jean-Baptiste Street, going to make a right turn to head up towards Sanssouci and so on, and some guy is coming from town, and again, black Jeep, I remember it well, black SUV. Just hold back, because the way that guy, and that's not for the first time, is coming there. He has no intention. I'm on radio stuff. Good thing I held back, because you go ahead and it's possible the great crash that would have been there, and they want to cuss you and so on. The road is not a playground. It's not a place for kicking off. It's not a place for, you know, having fun and playing games and so on. And the police need to pull up those people. Use the cameras, use the surveillance that I'm told we have in place. Check up on those people, because sometimes you never know when you pull them up what else they may have in their skeleton of you know, what are the skeleton they have in their closet, what are the tricks they have in their bag, whatever, you know, unrecorded rap sheet that they're carrying around with them that needs to be taken and properly entered into our system. Enough said on that. Someone sent a very humorous flyer, which I'm sure maybe many of you would have seen. And it says, a fact of life. After Monday and Tuesday, even the calendar says WTF. You seen that, Jaquan? All right. After Monday and Tuesday, even the calendar says WTF. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And I see it was sent, I don't know if it's a forward, under the name of Naomi John Baptist. I know Naomi John Baptist. She's a doctor, a psychiatrist. Don't know if it is the same person. But if it is, I would like to say hello and greetings to her. Haven't seen or spoken to her in a long time. Very Nice, friendly, down-to-earth lady, very professional, and I'm sure very competent at this area of her expertise. She is the sister of Naomi Jabatis, yes, the Ministry of Health executive, and also very well-known calypso songwriter, Naomi. If this is original from you, it's quite witty, I must say. So, my best to you on that one. All right. We're almost due for a commercial break. There was something else that I wanted. I know yesterday I made a point. Speaking about Nahum, just brought that to mind, calypso songwriter and so on. I would find it weird, if Dr. Jabatis, were to come and to go to a platform or whatever and to start lambasting calypsonians and their lyrics when her brother is such a local, we like to use the word icon or whatever when it comes, calypso songwriting and arranging. He's a musician himself, Nahum Jabatis. It's the same way I just found. When you have somebody like Spider tearing into calypsonians and so on, and Spider has a brother who is so very well known and accomplished in the calypso art form, like Max Steven Orbertin, Lord help me. You kind of wonder what's going on. It doesn't mean that you should have no criticism of calypso because your brother is a calypsonian, but you have to ask yourself, Spider been around for so long, what's gotten into him? And that always seems to me to be the Alan Chasney effect. Where Alan Chasney, to me, there's a certain political gangsterism about him. That if you want to join his gang, you have to prove that you're so loyal to him that you're prepared to go against or after somebody who is, I don't think it has worked in the case of the Francis brothers, Claudius Hume and Gil Peterson. I suspect those guys are too tight that you can't play. But it wouldn't surprise me if Alan Chasney would have, his greatest thrill and gratification is to know he has Herman Gill and Peterson in his camp in a manner that will cause Claudius, or he believes will make it an awkward feeling for Claudius. And it's just the same way. It wouldn't surprise me if Alan Chasney put Spider up to this thing, to go after calypsonians and criticizing them and all of that, because he knows Spider is Lord help me's brother. So you do that and you're gonna, you're gonna create that little kind of awkwardness and friction and maybe drive a wedge between them, and that is what you have to do to show, how loyal you are to Mr. Chasney. Maybe there are other people who are really making a fool of themselves because they are being pushed to show that, that they're with Mr. Chasney, they're with him and so on. Because I don't know. I see this political gangsterism and I've been talking about it intermittently for many years. So that was my reason. Why would Leonard Spider Montut be pushing his neck out like that and say he's a man, he loves calypso and this kind of thing? Calypsonians never sing to, to please anybody or gratify. They sing their calypso and so on. Invader, like I said, as far as I know, is a man who has been a supporter of the Labour Party. I could be wrong, he did his take my money thing. Now he's come again about how all they can do is Allen. Does that mean he's against the government? He doesn't understand the politics that they will hit against? I'm sure he does, but that's not what he's concerned about. And then, folks, we're due for a commercial break right now. Let's take it. The real issues will continue with your calls and your messages after this.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
McDowell Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene, vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The CDC opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosley Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosley.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains and illnesses? When there's help for you. At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild. The power to heal, the future of pain relief.
Live streaming has become one of the best ways to connect the funeral of a loved one with friends and family, both local and international. NBC Television will live stream your funerals on television and Facebook at a reasonable rate. With our state-of-the-art equipment, you can be assured that the quality of your funeral will be to your satisfaction. Call our office now and book your obituary and streaming with us. 758-453-7458.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning into and staying with the Real Issues on this Thursday. It is the 20th of June 2024, and it being Thursday, I would expect that tonight at 8:30 on NBC television, I think also simulcast on Real FM radio, there will be Can I Help You with Richard Frederick and Albert Fridges, and I think we can expect, there's always fireworks, on that program, but I think we can expect more fireworks, as I'm sure Richard will want to continue where he left off in the Parliament, and always so many things to say. He got so much things to say, and I expect tonight will be no different. Somebody's gonna get it, somebody's gonna get it. He'll just keep getting the blows that he deserves. A tactical error on the part of the coaching staff cost West Indies the match. What was Shepherd doing in that team? Why was McCoy left out after such an impressive performance against Afghanistan? I'm not a fan of Shepherd. I think he is overrated. That's a message that I just got. The telephone lines are open. Yeah, I'm opening them early today for your calls. 724-7325. I get the complaints about how abruptly we have to end for the lotto, and I want to compensate for that, okay? I really want to compensate for that by giving you the time, and I think I'll wrap up the manner of the lotto a little better so that we don't have to be jumping out too quickly. Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yes, I was waiting to talk about some business with you.
Talk to me.
Concerning the motorcycles which the police are riding, I could say they're not doing the right job.
Why do you say that? Hello? Did we just lose that caller? Oh boy. And I was waiting for him. Okay. The WhatsApp line that you can call us on, WhatsApp callings, is 724-7325. That's 758-724-7325. And you can also reach us on the landline, 4533-911. Now, don't say, oh, Shelton, I know he never opens the line so early, so that's why you're not calling. You're supposed to be listening and to know that I have opened the lines early. The lines are open for your calls. But I'm going to read some messages in the meantime. Sorry about this last caller. I don't know what happened. Someone said, remember Bingo sang this song, and the song is Kenny and Tony. Yes, and Labour government was in office at the time. I don't know that Bingo got blows for it from any politician, We have two people running this country, just you look and see. We have two people running this country, I hope you can agree. Two people running this country, Kenny and Tony. And I mean, it was witty. That Kenny Anthony is a split personality or somebody who, whatever it was Bingo meant to say. But you have two people. One is Kenny, the other is Tony. But Kenny and Tony, great stuff. People love the calypso. I think he got as far as the quarterfinals, and it didn't go further and so on. But it's the kind of wittiness about calypso that people like. They don't really care too much about. Having any personal bile up. Michael Shastner used to go to tent even while, Pep was singing about, the Cockma Hole people and so on. And Michael was actually on the stage, in the thing. What was it? Robbie sang about Michael have a hand in that, everything. Michael have a hand in that, and I mean, Shastner was there enjoying his thing. Anyway, there seems to be just one spoiler of that same name who has come on the scene. Anyway, we have another call on the line. Hello? Hi, Jaquan, what's happening? All the cables plugged in, the volume on the speaker is good and so on. Caller, can you hear me? Hi, caller, are you there? Hello? All right. It can't be Samuel Bowell's doing us that. I think he's extinct now. He doesn't exist anymore. And I don't hear anything about him. It looks like, like some people when they want to, annihilate a rival and so on in business, they acquire their business, and after the acquisition, they shut down the business and so on. And I suspect Samuel Bowles is one of those that Alan Shastner acquired him and then just killed him off, shut him down completely. So I don't think it's him doing that. Samuel Bowles is well and truly extinct by all indications. We have a call on the line. Hello?
Shelton, good afternoon.
Hi,
how are you, my brother?
I'm doing okay. How about you? Was that you a while ago who couldn't get through?
No.
Okay.
That's probably Bowers.
That's probably Bowers, yeah.
Let me tell you, Shelton, and it's a big. I want to say it's a concern, but you. I don't know if you saw the videos of the collision with the school girls down by the Camille Henry Memorial School.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was an accident waiting to happen.
It was two girls. Yeah? Jaquan said it was two girls.
Yeah, two girls. Yeah. From what I read, it's age 10. Shelton, my concern is, and I've lamented that for a while now. The police has enough motorcycles now, and I strongly believe that the hierarchy of the force and the government need to rethink the operations of the police force. We have government after government has given the police enough vehicles, more than their fair share, and I believe these vehicles are not being utilized properly to curb the minor infractions that are happening on our streets. Shelton, when I look, I see motorcyclists, police motorcycles going up and down the road. Either they're escorting
diplomats and foreign and dignitaries and all of that. Yeah.
Yes. And Virgin Atlantic on an afternoon to beat the traffic. My concern is I do not see these police motorcycles stopping the offenders on the street. That don't happen. I don't see them stopping vehicles and issuing tickets. The only time I see, there's so many persons not wearing seat belts. There are so many persons who doing so many other infractions on the road, and you don't see police engaging these people. I think the police need to be more proactive.
I agree.
Even the overall operations of the police force, we cannot do it like we did it back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, when we had bits 1 to 6.
Okay, so it's like you're saying every time you see the bikes, is the outrider duties you see them performing and all that.
Yes. Either they're rushing to go somewhere, or they escorting some dignitary, and I have no issues with escorting dignitaries. But I've seen the escort Virgin Atlantic, the coaster. I've seen other things where they escort. At one time they used to escort containers. And my thing is, what are we doing? Where's the emphasis with those motorcycles? You know, we need to do more and demand more. And I'm talking as a retired police officer, so I know what I'm talking about.
Right.
Shelton, we have to get serious.
Okay.
When I see motorbikes causing popping wheelies all over the place, you have guys riding without helmets.
Yeah.
Most of those motorcycles are not licensed, as you rightly said.
Yeah, not insured, anything like that.
Something needs to be done. We need to be more proactive.
Yeah, for example, that biker who slammed into those children, whatever, does he even have
popping a wheelie?
Yeah, but does he even have insurance? You know, for example, that he can that the parents will even be able to get a little part of the hospital bill and physio and rehab paid for that child. You know, sometimes nothing like that. You know.
I mean, we have to be serious. We have to be serious about these things. Let me tell you, I have a solution, and I'm waiting to speak to the minister responsible for the police to give a solution, because we need to be doing 21st century policing right now.
Yeah, because to me, what those bikers are doing is gonna need police bikers, to chase them down. And when they do their crazy thing, it takes a bike to chase a bike. You can't use a car or a van or an SUV, to chase a bike. It's a bike that have to chase a bike and to pull up. And the same way they want to show off because they see people, they have a lot of traffic on the road, so they want to get notice from people. The same way when they get charged and everybody's watching at them get pulled up and charged, I think that will play a great deterrent, value in terms of getting them, persuading them to stop the foolishness they're doing,
Yeah. You see what the police need to do, put a presence. Have motorcyclists on the highways.
Yeah.
They're stationary, one place, just patrolling.
Yes.
Patrolling the highways, ticketing individuals.
Yeah.
And doing what is necessary. The other thing, lastly, Shelton, I believe the time has come that not only traffic officers, in fact, not only persons working in the traffic department that need to have ticket books, but every police officer, every police vehicle, as long as you're on the road, you must have ticket books and ticketing people.
Yeah.
For far too long, I see police officers, their hands swinging, and they don't have ticket books. They don't have canisters with ticket books, ticketing people. You see the one to which most likely at the traffic department. Other than that, Central don't have, the Gozile police don't have. None of them have in their vehicles, and they're just driving up and down. I mean, I'm very passionate when it comes to that thing, Shelton. So, I don't know, but we need to rethink the way we do policing in this country. Period.
Yes. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. And the point I was making, it bears restating. The same way you putting people in danger because you want to show off, you want to get notice on the stretch, or on the Bado flat and so on. You get pulled up by SNS there by that roundabout and so on. Everybody will see you too, getting ticketed, getting arrested. So, the show off you want to show off, you'll get a different kind of show off and a different kind of notice that will make you think differently next time. We have another call on the line, I think. Hi, caller. Good afternoon. Real issues.
Good afternoon, Shelton. Good afternoon to your viewers and listeners.
Oh, there's a guy who needs to be arrested, and I think we have. I think he saw the wisdom of turning himself in. What's up, Migs?
How are you, my brother?
I'm all right. It's always better to turn yourself. What's that?
Did you catch the cricket last night?
No, and it's a good thing because I would have cried too much.
But let me tell you, I'll tell you a quick thing.
Yeah.
I decided to go because my father said he was coming and going. But he was going in the grounds. When I got to the grounds, the tickets were sold out, so I couldn't even get somebody trying to sell a ticket on the outside.
Wow.
I was in what they call a T-bomb stand.
Okay.
That's on the hill. You overlooking the stadium, you could see everything from the.
Oh, you're talking about the place that the late David Hooks made famous. This ex-Australian batsman.
That's the best vibe. You know why? I have to pay $10 for a shot of bounty inside the ground.
Okay.
I got my P-toys. And P-toys were the actual price, proper retail price.
All right. Okay. So sometimes it pays not to go premium.
Oh yeah, man. I got the best view in the house. Let me tell you, Shelton, on the bikers thing, man, I saw someone comment on Facebook by say another bikers rant, but I so agree with you because you find that the various representatives of the bikers associations, they come out and say, especially after collision, that drivers on the road have no respect for bikers. But then that itself is by their own doing. I'm not talking about the responsible bikers.
Right.
But then when you find bikers doing all that nonsense on the road, you're going to crack them all and paint them with one brush.
Yeah.
Because what you find, there's two things. I always point out. A man riding a motorcycle, he has his pillion rider at the back who chances is a woman. Her backside cock up, in the back of the seat, and her bum crack showing. He has a helmet, she doesn't have one.
I tell you.
As a driver, a rider, anything you drive, you see an impact coming, you actually are the one who's probably ready to brace for it rather than a pillion rider because you're the one focusing on the road. So the danger they put the pillion riders in, especially the women. That's one thing. The second thing is that, like you said, all the wheelies and all the stunts that they do on the road. Before that commercial road was fixed, Shelton, you would see them passing up and down, and they popping and that kind of thing, and the road is narrow, and vehicles also drive at speeds exceeding the speed limit on that road. On and it takes a fraction of a second for a collision to happen. And
Exactly.
Now, another habit they have is that you're driving along the highway, you don't hear them coming from a distance, but as soon as they reach next to you, they take that moment to just rev up. 2 free revs. That has made me jump on many occasions.
It does.
I foresee someone swerving in their direction. Just as a natural reaction to what they do.
Yeah, it startles you, and sometimes they try to pass you on any side. So you head a row, you're never sure whether they're going to pass you on the right side, which is where they're supposed to, or they sometimes try to squeeze past on the left side. So if you are swerving to give them some space, you might end up swerving the wrong side and cause a problem even worse than solve it, because nothing is out of bounds for them.
Now, what I noticed, I'm not sure who put those up. I'm not sure whether it was the ministry, because I haven't been there recently, but I saw along the grocery highway especially, I saw a yellow sign saying, basically saying to make way or be courteous to bikers. And I'm not sure if it represents motorcyclists or bicyclists, but for me it was just funny and ironic seeing that sign, and basically saying respect the bikers, and the bikers themselves don't respect their own selves and their lives and other people's lives on the road.
Yeah.
So the associations themselves need to step up. And like your last caller rightfully said, he started speaking, and I was asking myself whether it's an issue of resources. I'm talking about human resources. But I think there is enough resources for police to monitor the roads, and I think this is time now for the government themselves to enact a legislation which allows speed guns to be used by police officers, because we do have a speed limit. And one more point, Shelton, on the police, and which your caller rightfully said about a lackadaisical attitude. I'll give you a story. When we made this at the ministry, we made this lane between the Baywalk Mall and First Caribbean, a one-way road, right? The guys put the signs up and everything, no parking and no entry from the side from Clever, right? From Clever. The guys went to the Rodney Bay police station, and they informed them that making this road a one-way, we need a little bit of enforcement and monitoring just to ensure that people get used to it and know it. You know what they said? The people will get used to it. So in other words, we're not going to go and monitor it. Wow. And you know what happened? People broke down the sign, people parked. They parked where there's no parking. The restaurant owners told the people don't mind that, park there. So they're double parking, and also they actually knocked down one of the no parking signs and no entry signs. So this is a lawlessness we are encouraging when our police officers themselves should be lax on their duties.
And you have to clamp down on those things, because if you don't, the people who are doing it believe that they are entitled and justified. That nobody doesn't, so who cares?
It's a mushroom. But anyway, let me hold up the line, Shelton.
Yeah, okay.
Good afternoon to your viewers and listeners.
Thanks a lot. 724-7325. You can WhatsApp call us on that, and 4533-911. We cannot have a country, a society which is supposed to be an orderly construct, where everybody does however they please, what they want. You cannot have it. Anyway, we have another call on the line. Good afternoon, Real Issues. Hello.
Yes, Shelton. Good afternoon to you.
How are you doing?
Malar.
Malar,
man.
What's on your mind today?
Shelton, there are too many things on my mind. If I start, I might finish in 2026. So I will focus on two. Shelton, did I hear the former Prime Minister of this country, the leader of the opposition party in this country, the current leader of the opposition, did he have a WTF moment in Parliament?
Yeah, it seems so. It seems so.
So, Shelton, you really believe it's a where's the funds moment he had?
Well, no, I dealt with that yesterday. Maybe you were not yesterday. I said so,
That's why I'm on the run.
You can't make me believe that all of a sudden, where's the funds? And we realized that he was actually copycatting something from the Canadian Parliament, where the leader of the opposition, in the Canadian Parliament did the same thing.
No, Shelton. Yeah. No, don't think so. He was copycatting, yes, or maybe he was copycatting. But Shelton, don't you think he came to the realization that he made a faux pas? So now he's starting to piggyback on the faux pas, and when he's asking for the funds, maybe he was talking about the funds he claimed to have received when he sold 140 something acres of the Viewfort Beauséjour lands for $60,000 an acre, and he recognizes that he does not know where the funds are, so he's having a WTF moment.
Well, good for him. At least he will live. He will live what he's prescribing for others.
But Shelton, but that is what he's doing. This is precisely what he's doing. The man, he want to come across as bright. He recognizes he can't hang in there with the rest of the fellas because he's not there mentally, intellectually, or no other early except So the man realized that when he realized he was in Parliament, he quickly decided to call it a weather funds moment, but he has to recognize the 43% are not sitting in Parliament.
Yeah.
They are outside supporting him.
But it's my understanding that his daddy took to the airwaves today on their radio station to come and defend him. Were you able to take in any of that?
Casper Shelton, why you think I'm going to put myself through that? To listen to that man? I try not to listen to his son. You want me to listen to the father? The one who was concerned about the homicide rate? The one who was concerned about the overspending? The one who said nothing in the 5 years? The one who's responsible for the demolition of custody suites and the royal jail? You think I want to hear that man say anything now? If anything, the man is speaking because he's afraid of what may happen to Colony House, with the police possibly having to move again. He might be defending his sellers. Them people don't care about us. Them people only care about their pockets. But Shelton, the longest rope have an end.
True.
Colony House, the survival of Colony House from the taxpayers is going to end. But before I say anything too much about Colony House, the next thing, Shelton, the motorcyclist, and the reckless behavior on the road, man. Them fellas believe the road is theirs and they can do anything. Shelton, like you were saying, the police needs to be along the road, along the highways and byways of this country. When these motorcyclists just doing things like they're mad and they're the only people on the road. I am not too sure what happened in the accident of the two young children, but if the motorcyclist was reckless and he endangered those two children, let me tell you, he had to pay. They have to pay. Whoever have to pay, because you cannot continue this nonsense. And the number of motorcycles on our roads are increasing. I see some of them going around Viewfort, and it's just the noise, man. Some of them just love the noise. They're creating this noise in a quiet environment. I used to have a neighbor, and every time I have to go and talk to him and tell him, my G, you have to consider the elder persons living around there. And he used to ask me, but why they not coming and tell him that? I tell him the prayers of the elderly will lead us. Not too long thereafter, something very tragic happened. We have to take responsibility for our actions. We have to respect people, respect the road, respect other road users, and stop thinking that because we have a license, according to the people, that we can do any and everything we want to at the risk of others. A while ago, I come into my home there on the road. A madman, not on a motorcycle though, on a car, overtaking two vehicles. The one in the front is a truck. And he passed by. You understand? Now, had he knocked the truck, somebody else the truck would have knocked. That's why we have to drive for ourselves and others as well. We need to behave. Stop acting like madmen. Meanwhile, Shelton, enjoy the rest of your afternoon. And
you as well. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Jaquan, let's just go into our commercial break, and when we come back, we'll take more calls and try to read some of the messages. This is The Real Issues.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene, vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The CDC opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosile Bus Stop, Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosile.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains, and illnesses? When there's help for you. At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains, and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild. The power to heal, the future of pain relief.
Live streaming has become one of the best ways to connect the funeral of a loved one with friends and family, both local and international. NBC Television will live stream your funerals on television and Facebook at a reasonable rate. With our state-of-the-art equipment, you can be assured that the quality of your funeral will be to your satisfaction. Call our office now and book your obituary and streaming with us. 758-453-7458.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Listening and watching the Real Issues, and we have a call on the line. Hello.
Good afternoon, Shelton.
Hey, good afternoon to you. What's up, my buddy?
Is Daniel your surname or your middle name, or does your surname end with A? Because to me, SDA, all I see to me is Seventh-day Adventist.
Okay, so what you saying there? You saying Shelton Daniel something?
Shelton Daniel Anthony or something, so SDA,
Anthony, that's not part of my construct.
Well, that one above my pay grade, huh? But Shelton, charity begins at home.
Okay.
So today, I want to give some supporters of the Labour Party a pluck, and I'll tell you why. There are some supporters of the Labour Party who receives good deeds as a result of the victory. And I would use an analogy. Their bread may have had eggs, sausage, luncheon meat, but they may just see another Labour Party supporter who may be the recipient of a bread and peanut butter. Some of them trying to block you from getting that bread and peanut butter, and they already have the club sandwich already, That is greed. And those of the Labour Party supporters who are engaged in that behavior, I condemn you all. Okay? I condemn you all. Live and let live. You already get your club sandwich already. If you see another brother getting a bread and peanut butter, do not be a stumbling block in his way. That's wrong. So I condemn that. The second part of my contribution, Shelton, is, you see, being a leader or being a good human being, Shelton, one of the characteristics that you must have is empathy. And you see Philip J. Pierre is, when God is ready to uproot him, God will uproot him. But for now, it is God who planted him. And no man can uproot him. You know why, Shelton? Philip J. Pierre is endowed with what you call empathy. Empathy. That man has that. He has love for mankind. Shelton, some beneficiaries of the NIC, the pensioners, they were receiving $314 for years. Okay? Philip J. Pierre, he didn't take it and bring it to 628, Now, if you were getting 314, Shelton, and you get another 314, am I right in saying that is 100% increase?
Yes, it is.
Right? So Philip J. Pierre take it, and he bring it to 725. Okay? From 314 to 725. One would expect the opposition to praise that, to forget about politics and praise that move. Okay? You are saying, as the leader of the opposition, you want to condemn that? Why is now? Why is now? Why is now when you were there for 6 years, Shelton? You were there for 6 years as leader. If why is now, and if it is not enough, you were leader. Why you didn't take it from 314 to 1,000? But the man who did it, the man who puts, over 100% increase on it, you want to condemn that man, Papa? Philip J. Pierre? Long live Philip J. Pierre, my brother.
Okay.
God bless you.
Thank you very much, my friend. Thank you. All right, let's make a call to Honorable Moses Jean-Baptiste, our Minister of Health, Wellness and Elderly Affairs, and MP for Vieux-Fort North. Let's see if we can get him on the line right now. All right, his phone is ringing.
Hello?
Mr. Minister, if that's you, this is The Real Issues with me, Shelton Daniel, and just touching base with you, sir.
Yes, good afternoon. Am I on air?
Yes, you are, live on air.
Yes, thank you very much. Great show as usual, Shelton. I thought it, I thought it really, really critical and important just to address some issues. Some issues have been in the public domain for a while in relation to, the space at the Owen King EU Hospital, beds at both St. Jude and the Owen King EU Hospital. There have been a lot of, we've had discussions in the public domain about the access to medication, especially for diabetics and hypertensives. Over the last few months, there have been some challenges, and I think it's very important for me to explain to the public, but also to bring the public up to date on some issues, the space issues at the hospitals, but also some of the things that are happening. We have always had issues, whether it be with healthcare and other problems in the country. What is very important, I think, is for us to connect what we are doing about those issues. When the promises, we made some promises in our manifesto, and also we made some pronouncements, but what are we really doing about those things, and are the strategies touching people? Are we having greater access to healthcare in the country, and what evidence is there to show that? And if there are challenges, what are we doing about the challenges? I think it's very important. Although I've spoken about those issues in the Parliament and in other areas, but I think your show is a great opportunity to continue to explain to the people of St. Lucia. Well, first of all, as you know, Shelton, the Prime Minister caused us to have a brand new unit called the Elderly Affairs Unit in the Ministry of Health. And so for the first time, while we had the Department of Equity and Social Transformation and so on, dealing with issues relating to the elderly, there were programs, there are still programs, and we have SSDF and other agencies dealing with the elderly. In the Ministry of Health, Wellness and Elderly Affairs, we have created a new unit called the Elderly Affairs Unit. The Prime Minister caused that to happen, but over the last 2 years or so, we have been working with the Department of Public Service and with other departments to cause it to be formed. But also, we have been working with our consultant, Dr. Zeister Edmond, who is a health expert, and her job is to review the 2013 draft policy on older persons in St. Lucia and to come up with new ideas. She had consultations all around the country with all groups of individuals, with elderly people, and most people who were part of this would remember all of the consultations. And last week she presented a first draft of the policy, and that coincided with the appointment of an acting director of elderly affairs in the Ministry of Health, with Mr. Huggins. And Mr. Huggins has been part of our ministry. He was simply shifted to the unit called Elderly Affairs. And we're going to have a dedicated unit to look at programs for older people in St. Lucia, to look at coordinating what is happening currently. And we must thank the Department of Equity and so many other, the Club 60s and Mrs. Helen and her group and Help Aid St. Lucia and so many, the Lions Club, Rio. I mean, the list is very long. The Retirees Association. So many people have been doing their own programs to help older people in St. Lucia. And now we are trying to have a coordinated effort. We are trying to put together some kind of coordination so that the government can provide more assistance in a coordinated way. So this policy will go to cabinet and hopefully to the parliament for debate and so on. So I'm very pleased to report that we've made significant progress on that in terms of the department, the unit for elderly affairs in St. Lucia in the ministry. Just last weekend, we observed the day for observing the abuse of elder persons and so on. We went to church in the Seventh-day Adventist church in Larissus, and it was a great day, and we had consultations and collaboration with other people focusing on older people in St. Lucia. So you will see some focus activities from the government on older people, trying to encourage families and so on to focus on the older relatives. Shelton, another program I must come to talk to you about how many older people we have in the hospitals for years, and their relatives are just not coming to pick them up. They have been discharged, and the hospitals cannot throw them out on the streets, and they are actually living at the hospitals.
Wow.
Both St. Jude and OKEU. That's that's just a small example, a little example, to demonstrate to you how we must change the conversation. There are lots of social issues, family issues. Some people will say they're not coming for these people, and most of them are men, sadly. Most of them are men, and their families have just left them there for years. There are many of these people in the hospitals, residents we call them now, and even though you call who you think is their family, nobody comes for them, nobody. So that's just one example of so many things we can talk about. How the public treats older people in the public sector, in the private sector, health care for older people. So that, I want to say quickly, is just a major focus of the ministry now that we have established our unit. And we are going to see a lot on that. But I quickly want to say to you, Shelton, that I too am very concerned as minister about the shortage of bed space, in both hospitals. And let me explain quickly. The Owen King EU Hospital is a facility with 120 beds. And I'm speaking generally about beds. I'm not speaking about the ICU beds and so on, inpatient census beds. But Victoria Hospital, I don't want to say old Victoria Hospital, but Victoria Hospital had 150 beds. You recall the debate when United Workers' Party was in office sometime after Dr. Kenny Anthony, the construction of the Owen King EU Hospital. We should have had 5 fingers, 1 finger was not built and all of that. But just to let the public know that what you call Old Victoria Hospital, in fact Victoria Hospital, actually had more bed space than the current Owen King EU Hospital.
Okay.
Now that's a big challenge. I mean, you have a new hospital, but then you have less, bed space. What the question is I always ask my staff to ask themselves that question. We have challenges, but what are we doing about it? What is this government doing about it? Well, the Millennium Heights Medical Complex Board, together with the government, decided that we are going to use part of the Victoria Hospital and refurbish it into what we now call the secondary hospital, managed by the Millennium Heights Medical Complex.
Okay.
That is completely refurbished. This is not something we are wishing. That is already in action. Newly painted, new pharmacy, new beds, and all kinds of things. If you go to Victoria Hospital now, you will see it now. Hopefully, we can add another 31 beds. We've now added just a few, but then we're working to add another 31 beds, which hopefully will help the situation. Now, that will also come with improvement to the theater and other amenities at Victoria Hospital, so we can relieve some of the pressure. So I want to tell the public that yes, we have a shortage of bed space. And we're going way back into history. In the construction of the hospital, one finger, so to speak, was not built, and therefore, although we have a new hospital, we have less bed space than the Victoria Hospital. Let's talk about St. Jude. St. Jude at the stadium has 50 census beds, 50. And over year on year, last year compared to this year, the occupancy at St. Jude has increased by 294%.
Wow.
Now, the reason for that needs a whole other discussion. I'm not going to take all of your time, just give you a brief. The occupancy at St. Jude Hospital, I want people to hear that. The occupancy at St. Jude Hospital has increased by 294%, which means almost 3 times,
the
number of people are being admitted. Now that speaks to something else. So you can already see the challenge. Again, the question is, what is the government doing about it? Because that's why we're in government. Well, what is the government doing? We are refurbishing, as we know, work continues on St. Jude Hospital at Auger, and hopefully very soon we'll move. But we have people, human beings, and doctors and nurses, and sanitation workers. We have patients at the stadium, and therefore we are now, as we speak, the work is happening right now. We are refurbishing certain parts of the stadium to increase bed space. So hopefully we're going to increase to 66, from 50 to 66. That does not include the ICU and so on. So what happens is, when we have this increase in bed occupancy, you find the doctors, the nurses, the professionals down there have to now squeeze into emergency and other parts of the hospital to have patients there, and that is a big issue for everybody, for the public, for the professionals, and so on. So that is the situation there, and we are working to correct, not correct, but to ameliorate, to make things better there. I know the public has been very concerned about medication, and we have heard several complaints about not enough medication in the pharmacies. And although that's a long-standing problem, way before my time as Minister for Health, I never take that as an excuse. People say, well, it was there before you, so no. It was there before me, that's a fact. But what are we doing about it? Well, I must tell you that part of the reason we have this huge demand for medication and we have issues, I'll tell you part of the reason. In 2021, for you to get free medication in terms of diabetes and hypertension, you needed to be a diabetic and hypertensive at the same time. So if you are diabetic and hypertensive, you get free medication.
Right.
But if you are just a hypertensive person, just with as we say, high blood pressure, so people can understand, if you're just hypertensive, you not get the medication for free. Since we've come in, we're rolling out a program, and this is called the PBF, Performance Financing Mechanism, where we have new services for diabetics and hypertensives and so on. We are now offering people with only hypertension the medication free of charge.
Okay.
So let me tell you what that has done. In 2021, we were serving about 2,100, between 2,000, sometimes it went up to 3,000 and so on, with free medication. Now, the figures are showing that we are serving over 8,000 St. Lucians through the wellness centers and so on with free medication.
Okay.
So number one, that is both hypertension and diabetes. So that has moved. It shows that we are covering more people with the programs. We are covering more people. More St. Lucians are getting the medication without paying. I don't like to say free because nothing is free.
Right,
it's just that you're not paying for it. It's been paid through taxes and for the levy and the 2.5% levy and all of that. But you don't pay for it out of pocket.
Right.
Because that's a big goal for us, that we want to reduce the out of pocket expenses of St. Lucians. And that's where universal health coverage is going and so on. But in terms of that complaint, I also want to tell the public that there are some other factors that are beyond our control and that were beyond our control, like what is commonly called supply chain issues. In other words, the medication is manufactured, it is shipped. Over the last few months, we've had issues with the Israeli war and so on, and if you watch the news, you'd notice that some ships have been attacked and so on. So what is happening? The shipping companies are using different routes, more expensive routes. It is taking a longer time for medication to arrive. And what we have had to do over the last 2 or 3 months is to order the medication at 3 times the cost from other sources. Normally, we order medication from what is called the OECS PPS. It's a procurement system where all the countries in the OECS work together. But sometimes it takes time. Not the OECS's fault. It takes time for the medication to come. And so in the last 2-3 months, we've had to order medication out of that system. Outside of that system, costing us 3 times the amount. But we did, and we got some fresh batch of medication about 2 months, a month and a half ago. But even that has not been enough. So we are trying our very best to improve the supply of medication because we are having some challenges that are beyond our control. The other thing I want to say is this. We are hoping that this, what we are seeing at the hospital, that OKEU, Shelton, we are seeing admissions of over, close to St. Jude, over 150%, even more admissions in terms of bed occupancy year on year. And that tells a story. And it also tells us that at OKEU, about 26% of the individuals who are admitted have been admitted for issues that the medical professionals believe can be handled, say at a health center or polyclinic or something like that. St. Jude, the same thing. They're saying to us, listen, Minister, if we can find a way to ease the pressure of the hospitals, because people come there for things, for issues that can be handled at health centers and polyclinics and so on, then the hospitals will have less pressure and they'll be able to deal with emergencies in the way that they should. So, again, the question is, what are you doing about it? What is the government doing about it? What are we doing about it? For the Castries Basin, we are working on what we have said, what we've spoken about from last year, the Castries Urban Polyclinic. This means we are going to move the Castries Health Center from where it is into the Victoria Hospital. We are refurbishing all parts of Victoria Hospital. And it's not if we are doing it, we are doing it already, now as we speak. So that we will have an urgent care center. We will have the Castries Health Center. We'll have an urban polyclinic. And the Cuban Eye Care Clinic will also be there, because that's the refurbishment of the Cuban Eye Care Clinic is almost completed. I mean, I was there just a couple of weeks ago. They're just doing some basic plumbing and repairing some electrical, not repairing, but doing over some electrical work. The theater is completed. We have purchased all the new equipment. They are on island. And the Cuban Eye Care Clinic will recommence very soon. So when we do that, we are hoping that we can leave that polyclinic, the urban polyclinic, open up to midnight or even 24 hours as we are planning. So that not everyone will go to OKEU. You can get urgent care at the Castries Urban Polyclinic so that it lessens the pressure. GIPC, the Grosile Polyclinic, is another big center. And we are hoping that with the improvements that are coming, we are going to expand it and expand the opening hours, lengthen, the opening hours, so that individuals from the north, if they have something that they themselves deem, that they burst their toe in the middle of the night or something like that, they can get care without going to the Owen King EU Hospital and causing the backlog. Because if you are there waiting for thing and somebody, unfortunately, a gunshot wound or an accident or something, these situations obviously will be dealt with first. So I just wanted to share this. I have so much to share. I just wanted to share this and to say to you that even the Viewfort, we are selecting some wellness centers around the island, like the Viewfort Wellness Center in some key areas, and to see how we can extend the hours so that people who leave work, say from 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock and so on, they can get access to a wellness center where they believe possibly they don't need to go to the St. Jude Hospital. Because when you go to the St. Jude Hospital, we are hoping that if you go to the wellness center, you see a doctor and so on, if things are very serious, then they're going to transfer you to the St. Jude Hospital. So that's what we are doing to hopefully this congestion, the waiting time. Unless we do that, we will not solve the waiting time. Now, just one last thing. I wanted to go into some successes, but I see the time is
No. Let me just tell you that if the lotto comes on, stay on the line. We'll just go through the lotto and we'll come back to you, okay? It comes in live, so it's not something that we can schedule. When they're ready, they come. So I'll just notify you and then we'll come back to you. But we're going to go through what you want to say. So continue.
Okay, very good. So the thing about it is, all of these issues, and that one is more long-term and more personal, all of these issues point to one thing, Shelton. And I will just, before I say what it is, last year we had a survey and it showed that year on year, we had a 34% increase in the number of St. Lucians who had elevated high blood pressure. 34%, Shelton. 34% increase. We are seeing the numbers of diabetics increasing. We are seeing strokes. We are seeing all of these things increasing. And what the doctors, the professionals are saying to me, whether it be local professionals, whether it be from the Pan American Health Organization, we just came from Geneva at the World Health Assembly, all of the professionals are pointing to one thing. And it's cliche, everybody just says it. Lifestyle. And more in St. Lucia and in the Caribbean, we are at crisis level because of changes that can be made at the personal, family, organizational, school level that will help all of these things we see in the strokes and the diabetes and so on. And that is something that has to more and more become topical in the country. More the language of non-communicable diseases and lifestyle and the simple things like, are you drinking enough water? Are you walking, are you walking more? Are you sitting too much? Very simple things, the foods that you eat, the sugar content and the salt content. While these are cliche, we have always spoken about them, but we are seeing real results and real statistics of mortality and death and sickness and amputations and so many things that are debilitating, and you see the results at the hospitals. I tell you, St. Jude Hospital occupancy has increased by 294%.
Wow.
It speaks to something that is happening in our population. Obesity, the way we eat, are we doing something about it? Doesn't mean that if you are eating too much sugar that, okay, it's not right, but the question is, what are you doing about it to change the thing? And that is what will cause the long...
Hold your thought. We're sliding out now, as I told you, and we'll come right back to you.
No problem. I have a lot to say.
Monday draw of Thursday, 20th June 2000. The winning numbers for the Monday draw of Thursday, 20th June 2024 were Double Daily Grand 11, 14, 16, 20. Big 4, 6, 4, 0, 3. The Big 4 multi-export run is FB. Big 2, 0, 7. The Big 2 multi-export run is 2X. 1 off, 2, 1, 6. Lucky 3, 6, 0, 1. The Lucky 3 multi-export run is FB.
Now back to our regularly scheduled program.
All right, and we have on the line with us the Honorable Minister for Health, Wellness and Elderly Affairs, Honorable Moses Jean-Baptiste. And just before the commercial break, he was speaking on certain matters that he wants to draw to the public's attention by way of updates and clarifications. Mr. Minister, go ahead.
Yes, thank you very much, Shelton. When we paused, I was just remarking that it's interesting that the solutions, part of the solution really to this is really can be found in us, in communities, in families, in sports groups, and you name it, because what we are seeing at the hospitals, the statistics, not only the hospitals, but the private sector, because the doctors in the private sector, the doctors are alarmed. When they speak to me, they show me some statistics, and they themselves are very alarmed at what they're seeing in the population, and that we as a society, not just Ministry of Health, but we as a whole society, in everything that we do, whether you are in church, whether you are wherever you are, tennis club, whatever you are, we together have to put that. We must almost now, every meeting after you pray and in your agenda, wherever you are, must begin to have something about health. Are you eating fresh fruits? How many glasses of water you drunk? Just begin the conversation nationally, because we are heading down a very slippery slope with this. And no matter how many large hospitals you build and how many more bed spaces you create, if that problem continues, if that trend continues, we already have a serious problem. We're going to have a very serious problem. It affects not just the government finances, that's not even the big part. family income, personal income. So what are we doing about that? There are many programs. Dr. Sear and her team, and we now have the NCD Commission with Dr. Daw, and there are several public sector programs that are happening. I see NIC in, and many private companies you see they're now beginning to do their little exercising and their walks and so on. All of these things are very good. But Shelton, I want to tell you that in all of that, we know about the St. Jude Hospital being reconstructed. There are challenges with the hospitals. I know there are challenges with financing, and there are challenges with supply chain issues, human resource issues that we are looking at. But I want to also tell the public that we made some pledges. We made some pledges in the campaign, and we are beginning to see results. For example, we said we are going to do universal health coverage, and when we got into government, we said we are going to do it in a phased way while we work out the sustainable financing. Because it's all well and good to have a universal health care package, and people are not paying for this and they're not paying for that. But we must come with a sustainable financing method to cause that to go all the way. We must go to Parliament to change a law, have a law so that it can guide universal health care coverage down the road. But right now, what we have done since June of 2023, what we have done is we started the phased implementation of this universal health coverage. And as you know, we started with the maternal and child care aspect of universal health coverage. Well, the result shows that more and more individuals are going to our health centers to seek services, which is what we want. We want them to access what we call primary services, primary care, so that we can have them in the databases, we can guide them, we can follow them to give them early advice, because we don't want when people get sick, because a lot of people are living as if they're living for the hospital, in a way, because what all of us have to do, including myself, is to check the primary thing, check your doctor, do your tests, instead of not doing these things and you end up in the hospital. So the universal health coverage with the maternal and child care services has shown that over 1,719 ladies have received ultrasounds without pain, not free, but without pain, at no cost. A lab test, over 2,000 ladies have received lab tests without pain. The common thing is to say free of charge. And when we look at all of the regions, we see in Region 1, for example, Gros-Islet, Grand Riviere area, Moshi, 170% increase in access. Ladies who are pregnant coming to the centers. And I can go down the road. In Region 4-5 in the south, we are seeing 69% increase. If you go to places like Fort Saint-Jacques and so on, 51% increase. In other words, it is working. We are giving access to more people to healthcare services without them paying. They say free, but without them paying. So we're starting with maternal and child care services. And there are lots of other aspects to this. The quality assurance aspect. Are we doing better at the health centers? Are we following the right procedures? Can we improve it? More training for nurses and so on. So I am pleased that we are moving in that direction, in the right direction. And this year, Shelton, we have included cancer screening. Increase in cancer screening, especially prostate cancer and cervical cancer. We are starting with cervical cancer with a new methodology. All the consultations have happened and so on, and we start very soon. We launch it very soon. And then prostate cancer. Shelton, you and I, we are men, and I'm sure you know what I'm about to say. Yes. Prostate cancer kills so many men in this country every year.
Yes.
And you know what the doctors and so on are saying? Every day I hear them, I hear the nurses. If we catch it early, we can deal with it. But a lot of us don't want to go and do the test.
Once it has spread, you have problems, yeah?
You have problems. So the government this year is going to increase access to prostate cancer screening and so on without payment, free of charge, as they say.
Yes.
Men, and we are hoping that when we launch it later in the year, we're doing cervical cancer first. Later in the year, men within a certain age range will take the opportunity to do it. So we are doing that in phases, and I want to say to you, it's going very well so far. And have a unit, a universal health coverage unit headed by Dr. Eugene with her team, and they are all around the country. You see it on Facebook and everywhere. And we have the rest of our team headed by the CMO and the other departments, dental department and nutrition and everybody pulling in so that we have, basically what we want to do, Shelton, is to, number one, increase access to St. Lucian. So we have increased access of access to health services, and that can be measured. So when we came in 2021, what was the access? What was the percentage of ultrasounds, blood tests for pregnant people, cancer? We can measure these things. And what is it now? And what will it be in the next year, 2 years, 5, 10 years? These things can be measured. But I want to tell you not a sticking point, but the real challenging point in all of this is the financing of it. And we have had several consultations, not only with Dr. King and many of our local professionals who have worked on these things before. And I keep saying, I'm not one who want to come and say, several professionals have worked on universal health coverage before. They have tried certain things, Dr. Kenny Anthony and his team, diabetes, free medication, and so on. And for years we've been talking about how do we institute a universal health care program that will give access. Our approach, approved by the Prime Minister and the Cabinet is, hey, let's not wait for another 20 years to be talking about financing and we haven't given people more services. So as we go along, we are adding on services, people are getting services, and then we learn from the processes, from the costings and so on, and we are working on the sustainable financing. There are many other people who are on board with us, giving us advice. We have Dr. Stanley, who is a champion in that regard, giving us advice, ensuring, making sure that we get the advice. We have a lot of people who want to ensure, who wish for this universal health coverage to be successful. My Prime Minister every single day calls me about it, and to ensure that we have a sustainable financial model. We are working on it. We are very close, so that the Cabinet can have one or two models that we can present to the people of St. Lucia. But I just want to say to you, Shelton, that we know the challenges, and we are working on the different challenges, whether it be older people, whether it be the medication, the lack of medication, whether it be the St. Jude Hospital at the stadium, which is not the place they should have been, but we are trying to make things a little better while we quickly work on the new facility. And there are issues, but what I want to say to the public of St. Lucia is that we have a team led by Permanent Secretary Jenny Daniel and all of the heads, as I said before, in the ministry. And not only the ministry, the St. Jude Hospital, Millennium Heights, all the health centers and the private sector who are lending a real human service to us, whether it be Tapia Hospital when we have challenges or the other private sector. It's really a great team. You don't see it because, as I've said to the doctors when I meet them, doctors don't blow their trumpet. You don't have a doctor coming out and say, oh, we cured this person with brain surgery and whatever, but there's wonderful work happening in the health sector. The challenges are there, but I can guarantee you, look at La Clinique du Corps just recently with the MRI machine. So the private sector is coming in to help, not just to help, but to partner with the public sector so that we can have everything is not correct, everything is not going 100% the way we want it to be. But I can guarantee you that we are working to deliver what we promised in the manifesto. The whole Victoria Hospital, we are refurbishing it, and hopefully we'll even have a place later on where we can have tours and speak about all of those great nurses and doctors who serve that Victoria Hospital. But you'll see a brand new, it will not be called Victoria Hospital, but a health facility. It's already taking shape, and we are going to do what we have to do to deliver to the people of St. Lucia. But before I close, Shelton, I've heard you time and time again. I've heard you. It's almost like you work in the Ministry of Health. I've heard you tell people, take their little walks. Don't continue blaming doctors and whatever. What are you doing individually and in groups in the communities, the churches? And as I've said before, I qualified that by saying we see an increase in the number of organizations, that are taking walks and advising. But it's a serious crisis we are in terms of what we are seeing with non-communicable diseases, the heart attacks, the strokes. Shelton, if you see the figures yourself, you'll cry. And we can do something about it so that it won't happen overnight. But in 10, 15 years, we can see a reduction of the increases of people who are going to the hospitals for non-communicable disease, negative impacts and so on. So you can invite me anytime, Shelton. That was just, 0.5% of what
half of 1%. Mr. Minister, you have my number. You know where to find me.
Yes.
At your service, at your convenience. Just let me know that you would like to come on to speak, and we will pull out all the stops to accommodate you and other representatives of your ministry. You can be sure of that.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I just want to say again to the people of St. Lucia that there are challenges. We know that there are challenges. I am not one to always to say all the time these things were there before me.
Yes.
Because when we campaigned, when we spoke to the people, we knew these things were there. All I'm saying is I want to demonstrate what we are doing as a cabinet, as a Ministry of Health, to rise to those challenges so that we have a better healthcare system. So any suggestions, when I listen to the shows or with me, I take the suggestions, I write them down, I call the PS, I call this one and that one to see that at least we have a better system. Things are difficult, there are challenges. But I'm one minister who always say, when the PM called me to be Minister for Health, I didn't sleep for a few weeks. But right now, I am very excited about the job that I'm doing. And it's difficult, it's challenging. I ask for prayers and things. But I am moving ahead. We are moving ahead to do the best we can, Shelton. And thanks for the opportunity,
Honorable Minister, the pleasure and honor is all ours. Thank you very much once again. And as you have indicated, we still have a lot to cover. So I'm sure that we will be speaking again at length in the not too distant future, sooner rather than later. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks very much. Thanks very much, Shelton. Thank
you. That was Honorable Moses Jean-Baptiste, our Minister for Health, Wellness and Elderly Affairs, and also he is the elected Member of Parliament for the constituency of Vieux-Fort North. Thank you very much, Jaquan, for doing another great job with the controls and the calls. Thank you very much, everyone, for your participation, your attention to this program, and continuing to be the greatest reason or justification, if we need any, that is, for having this program. You're what it's all about, and you make us have that sense of accomplishment, of satisfaction, and of mission and purpose. Don't forget, as I said, tonight 8:30 on NBC television, you can look forward to Can I Help You with Honorable Richard Frederick, accompanied by a former diplomat and ex-senior police officer Albert Fregis, is regular these days. In the meantime, stay tuned to Real FM Radio and NBC television. We always have lots more in store for you throughout the day. Until next time, which is tomorrow at 12:30 to 2 p.m., Shelton Daniel signing out.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Big issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
McDowell Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune